Hi, Facebook. I'm Angie, and this is.
Harold Jones, John L. Scott Leavenworth.
And today, we got a good little show for you. We're discussing neighbors.
Neighbors,
And
neighborhoods, communities.
yes, and maybe not favorable neighbors. You know what we or you can do as a seller, as a buyer. Um, we had some issues come up. We're like, oh, that's a good topic to talk about. Wouldn't you say?
Angie thinks it's a good topic to talk about. I have to say a few things in my disclaimer right up front. I'm not an attorney. I don't know anything. But if things get serious, that's where you might end up going.
Yeah. So one of the issues we had is, we were the listing side, and the seller was having issues with the neighbor, blocking the entrance to the property, kind of creating some havoc. And so we just started brainstorming. It's like, okay, well, what can the seller do? Because as a buyer, if I go to see this property and I can't get to it because I have, disruptive person preventing me, that's gonna be a drawback. And I might say, yeah, maybe I don't want to deal with this. So we're kind of discussing on what are some options that a seller can do and or a buyer can do. And what were your thoughts?
Well, first thing to get this all started, if I'm a buyer and I'm looking at a property like that, I'm older, I like my peace and quiet. I like to ramp down on Friday. I try to enjoy myself as much as possible. This is true. If you're a buyer and you see this kind of friction, I'll say, with the neighbor, do you really want to take that issue on?
That's exactly what we're thinking.
Do you love that property that much
to have to deal with that?
To deal with it on a regular basis and make this large investment
Yeah.
to get the property. This is the whole thing, to make that large investment. Any buyer, and it doesn't matter what the price range is, it's a big investment for that buyer.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to take on this issue when you're supposed to be enjoying your life, where you live, what you're doing?
That is true. So suggestions could be,
what would be first? What's the first thing you're going to do?
tell my agent.
How about
Let my agent handle it?
I meant after you've already bought or whatever. First of all, yes, if you're a buyer, you want to make sure to check out the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Get an idea of what your neighbors are like.
Yeah. I
check out the property.
I was making this comment. I'm like, you spend X amount of dollars and just, at least a car you could test drive, and houses you get 15, 30 minutes of, walk through, and then that's it. Then you have to decide, okay, I want to spend X amount of dollars on this. I was like, whatever happened, like, can't you, spend the night one night just to get a feel of it, to say, you know what, this does feel right? And Harold suggested some really good.
And no, you're not going to get to spend the night.
I know.
No.
But what his ideas were really good. What were your ideas?
Okay. Go there first thing in the morning. This is before everybody gets up and starts moving, right? Go there first thing in the morning. Just hang out. See what kind of neighborhood noises you have. If you have no neighbors, see how many deer walk through your yard. Whatever it is. See if there's bears in the neighborhood. I don't know. It just depends on the area. See how much traffic's on the street. Then again, and the benefit to doing this first thing in the morning is then drive from that property to your work.
to see
Then
how
you'll
long.
see what the commute's like while you're gathering all this information. Do the same thing in the evening. Drive from work to the subject property, hang out. If you can hang out for a few hours, that would even be better because you can see how the area, your neighbors, everybody kind of winds down.
Or
You know.
interacts with each other.
Oh, interact. Well,
Yeah.
yes, that's great too. But you'll find out if your neighbors like to party every evening until 10 or 11 o'clock. That might not work for you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work for me. If that's your thing, good for you. Also, visit on the weekends because that's usually when everybody is home.
Mm.
And then you'll get an idea of what's happening at that time. It gives you a lot better view of the neighbors and the neighborhood as a general rule, because I agree with Angie. We're making a big investment here, and I would like to make this go as well as possible.
Now, by doing all of that, what he suggested, hopefully you don't get the cops called saying, "No, we got this guy, staking out the neighborhood."
No,
So
you have to get everybody's okay to do this.
yeah, like, here's this creepy guy just driving around.
And unfortunately, you find that house or property that you're looking for. We're all humans. What do we want? We want it now.
Yeah.
And so we don't always do everything necessary to make sure it actually does work for us. And that's one of the major things.
Because then you don't do that, you move in, and a day or two later you're like, whoa, wait, what's this noise or what is this? And like, oh, I didn't know about that. And because it doesn't have to be, there's nowhere to disclose that. Hey, I have rowdy neighbors. I have this type of, street. I have this, so you don't really know those things until you live there if you didn't do your due diligence. Correct?
And then again, due diligence. You could have checked it out at the best points that it's ever been in the past 20 years, too. Everything in life has a little risk to it. So we're not guaranteed, but a little extra effort doesn't hurt. A little extra time doesn't hurt until you run up to that one that you have to have instantly right now. I don't care what, that's my house. Okay, then we're going to accept a little risk, and we all hope everything works out the best for all sides.
Yeah.
So it's from the start, if you can get it worked out, that's the best way to do it.
All right.
All right? I know we didn't cover that completely. We didn't cover all of the legal points of view.
Because we're not lawyers.
But if you can't get anything resolved in that way, sometime you might have to go the legal route and see if you can get it take care of that another way. As a general rule, there's usually always some way to make it work out or a different solution.
Okay.
But we need to talk first.
Yep.
Okay?
All right. Well, you guys, it was nice. It's that time.
It was nice, huh?
It was nice. We're gonna enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend and a safe 4th of July. Anything you want to add, Mr. Jones?
Summer's here. Enjoy it. Get a lot of it. Get it caught up on your vitamin D, and don't burn.
All right. Well, until then, you guys. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.